Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Math with Mr. Massey. Today what we're looking at is comparing fractions. So which fraction's bigger, which one's smaller, and which ones are equal. So I have two fractions right here, right? I have 2/3 and 3/4. So I'm going to compare them. In order to compare fractions, you must have the same denominator. So I need to make these equivalent with the same denominator. So let's take a look at how we should do that. 2/3 and 3/4. Now when I look at my denominators, I know 3 and 4 are not the same number. So I need to figure out a number that I can create to have the same denominator. One of the things that I like to do is when I'm not sure is I just multiply the denominator. So I would multiply this 4 times 3 and this 3 times 4. And whatever I do to the denominator, I must do to the numerator. And again, the numerator is the top number and the denominator is the bottom number. So let's do our multiplication. I got 4 times 2, 2 times 4, same thing, gives me 8. 3 times 4 gives me 12. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 4 times 3 gives me 12. Now I have the same denominator for both fractions. Now I can compare. So which fraction is bigger? Would you rather have 8/12 or 9/12? Well, 9/12 is bigger, so then we go back to our original fraction that it gave us, and then we make 3/4 bigger than 2/3. So here's what that looks like. So it looks exactly like that, where this could be read as 2/3 is less than 3/4 and 3/4 is greater than 2/3, because I like to say the little alligator mouth always wants to eat more. So that's why 3/4 is greater than 2/3. So let's take a look at our second example. Again, we see 1/4 and 4/12 does not have the same denominator. So I need to have the same denominator. 1/4 and 4/12. I can multiply these. I can multiply 12 times 4 or 4 times 12 and get the same. But if I know my multiplication, as I do, I can multiply 4 times 3 to get me to 12, and then I don't have to do anything to this bottom fraction. I just slide it over. 4 times 3 is 12. Whatever I do at the bottom, I must do to the top. So 3 times 1 is 3. Now I have my fractions. Would I rather have 3/12 or 4/12? I'd rather have 4/12. So that's why I would make 4/12 is greater than 1/4, or I could read it as 1/4 is less than 4/12. So we looked at two examples as far as what's greater than, what's less than, and what's equal to. So when you look at examples like this, make sure when you're comparing fractions, you have the same denominator. Some might be where you have to multiply both of the denominators in order to get an equivalent fraction. Some might have already a denominator that you can get to. As we did from 4, we got to 12 and made it equivalent fractions. So when you're looking at fractions, this would be a good way for you to compare your fractions. So again, I thank you for joining me on another episode of Math with Mr. Massey, and I hope to see you guys in my future videos. Thank you.